Hey everyone, today I'm going to walk you through my kitchen and show you all the different organization systems I have in place that helps me get things done faster, and it also helps me stay organized and keep everything nice and clean. One of the things I have done is I make sure that everything has a home. So there's one home for everything, and everything needs to go back in its home. It doesn't get put away somewhere else. We don't just leave it elsewhere. We always put it back. It helps me in multiple ways. One, knowing where everything goes. Two, making sure we're not just making a pile of random stuff and putting them in different places. It also helps my husband know where things are, because then he doesn't need to go searching for things in random places if I accidentally put something somewhere else. Or it also helps him put things away because he knows exactly where they're supposed to go. It also helps me keep everything very minimal. I'm not gonna say this is a minimal kitchen. It is not by any means. I have a lot of stuff. I have a lot of collections, if you will. Lots of various products, multiples. I have tons of duplicates of the items that I use regularly and need the most. And that actually does help me out, because then I'm not like avoiding work because I have to wash a spatula or a measuring cup. You'll see lots of duplicates. However, it also prevents me from going out and buying random stuff, because like I'll be walking through the stores and I'll see something cute or super cool and I'm like, oh, I want that. But my kitchen is full. So I don't have space to make another home for something new. And that helps me keep my head on straight when I want all the new appliances and all the new tools and gadgets and everything that's trendy and cute. But yeah, I don't, there's no room in here for it. This is a functional kitchen. This is not going to be, I mean, like, yes, it is aesthetic. It is nice and organized. So if you like that, then keep watching. However, it is mostly functional. It is to make my life easier when I'm cooking. It is to make my life easier when I'm cleaning. You'll see it's, everything's put away. There's nothing out. I mean, there's a few things out, but there's nothing like sitting out constantly. I try to keep my counters very clear. It's also a very small kitchen. I have my cooktop back there, and I don't have a whole bunch of counter space, so that's one of those things I will always keep clear. The counters are almost always clear as much as possible, and the cooktop is clear because I use the cooktop as additional counter space. It is flat. It's one of those like glass heated ones. It doesn't have any elements. It's not like it doesn't have the gas hobs and everything, so it is a flat surface. And if I'm not cooking on there and it's not hot, I will be putting stuff on there like I would with any other counter. But yeah, let's start this and I will walk you through. Excuse the noise. I live on a decently like busy-ish street, so you're gonna hear a lot of noise, ambient noise coming in from outside. So please excuse that. Let's get started. We are going to be starting in these top cabinets over here. They are pretty high. I can barely reach them. I can reach the handle. I'm like almost on my tippy toes here, but yeah. So starting over here, and I do have two of these cabinets. So for me, I keep this little step stool here all the time. Yeah, that's the ambient noise over there. I'm so sorry, guys. But yeah, I keep a step stool in this corner here all the time, and I just kind of kick it around with me wherever I need it. And this way, I have no excuse not to get up there and grab something or to put something away. But yeah, starting up here, we have a bunch of shaker bottles and bottles. I bought these organizers off of Amazon, and it's really nice because one, I can't reach. I can barely reach. So if I had them stacked like one behind the other, I would not be able to grab anything from in there. And this way, at least I can use the space. I also have this bin here. You're gonna see these bins a lot. Basically, all the little pieces and products, like these are all the Bernardine jar or like mason jar lids that I have. I have plastic ones. Some of the lids for my bottles, and then I keep these little cups. I use them for like trail mix and stuff when I take them on snacks, or even like dressing and stuff for a salad. But I keep all the lids and little pieces in here because I could not reach there. This bin is one big item that I can just grab and pull. Same here. I have these two bins. These are all of our lunchbox containers. There are a lot. We do take lunch and snacks with us every day when we go to work, so they get used a lot. So we do keep a lot of them. And this is how I keep the lids. This is the easiest way for me. They're just like gonna be stacked in here. You'll see that a bunch of them are missing. It's usually really full in here, but I just keep them stacked and I keep them all in this bin so I can just pull the whole bin out. And I don't even need the step stool to reach this bin here. I can't like go into it, but I can pull the bin down. Same thing for this one here. Just various size lids for these lunch boxes, but it makes it easier for me and I don't have them flying all over the place. You're not gonna find me keeping the lids on the containers because I am terrified of having mold growing in them if they're sealed off. So I do like to keep them separate, but I don't want them to just like fall everywhere. Cabinet number 2 is for my food storage containers. Basically, I keep the mason jars up here, some takeout containers for like if I'm giving anyone leftovers, food savers, or like fruit savers, produce savers, whatever they're called. I don't use them very frequently, but every now and then I will pull them out, especially in the summertime when we have extra produce and I'm eating salads a lot more. I will prep everything and they do last longer in those. Here are all the other containers. These are the ones that go in the fridge for leftovers. They're not ones that we take out for lunch. The ones for lunches are sealed better and they're leak proof. These are for leftovers. And I do the same thing here. I have this bin for all the lids. Same concept. I also keep these like reusable Ziplocs for use whether it's like taking a snack out, or I will put things in the freezer or fridge and save them in this to like help reduce any waste, reduce the amount of plastic I'm putting out in the world. But yeah, another bin here. I would not be able to reach these lids and they would be falling all over without having them in the bin. And then we have this little drawer here. This is actually our like junk drawer. I keep a lot of microfiber cloths here. They're great for cleaning up and like fixing spills and stuff. I don't want to use a lot of paper towels and like have all that waste. So having so many cloths, like it's a lot of cloths. This is not even all of them, but having a lot of cloths helps with that. And I love having them like, this is my sink, excuse the dirty sink. But yeah, this is reality. This is life. But I have them really close to me and easy on hand, then I can just grab them. And in here, this is our junk drawer. Focus better. And we just have a bunch of random stuff in here, like, or what seems random. I keep these little knives here for sourdough. I do make sourdough sometimes and like my own bread, and like markers and pens to make labels, post-it notes. This is like a little notepad, and like when I'm like looking at recipes or something new, I'll like write it in here quickly before I actually put it into my recipe box. Lots of fasteners and elastics so that we don't have like open bags anywhere, and this will, it just helps food stay fresh longer. And then this, there are a few necessities in here. As a woman, I keep a hair clip in here so that when I'm cooking and I need something to put my hair up with, it's easy access. Tape, because you never know when you're gonna need to seal a box. I keep a screwdriver. This is like an odd item to keep in a kitchen drawer. I don't really need it in the kitchen so much. However, a long time ago I saw my mom have one. And she would keep it in the kitchen because her like fry pan handles would come loose, and this would mean she could easily tighten them. But I kind of just keep it here because it's easy to use anywhere in the house and I know where it is. Scissors. This is a flashlight in case the power goes out or anything. We have a little candle lighter here. It's one of those electric ones. Oh yes, phone holder. Phone holder is also a necessity because when I'm looking at recipes and stuff, or if I want to follow something, I like having my phone out, or I'll play a show or something in the background and I can watch it on here while I'm cooking, or I'll video call my mom or my sisters, or like just, yeah, have a call going with some friends. And this way I can do it easily in the kitchen where I am going to spend a lot of my time. We also keep a phone charger in here just to make it easy. I have no excuse not to be able to do something. If I need my phone, I can do it in the kitchen too. Headphones. for the calls so that I'm not annoying my husband being loud and noisy all the time, or to play music or have a podcast going. I will do that a lot. I'll often have a podcast playing while I'm cooking. And then what else do we have in here? Yeah, X-Acto knife. We have a box cutter in here. The box cutter is great because we get Amazon packages. I do a lot of ordering online just because throughout the week, Monday to Friday, I'm not going to be able to go to the store, and this way I can get whatever I need midweek delivered to us. Tide pen just in case, more hair ties, just a bunch of other random stuff. Yeah, but the necessities here are the phone holder, headphones, hair clip, box cutter, phone charger. Those are the most used items in this drawer. Kind of just going around the kitchen. That was all on the side with our sink that overlooks the living room. This is our cutlery and utensil, I guess, cutlery drawer. I also keep knives in here, and I have this like knife organizer so that it keeps the knives up straight and they're not like rubbing on anything. It helps keep them sharp and prevent them from going dull or getting rusty and wearing too fast. Here's those duplicates. I have 3 sets of measuring spoons and 2 sets of measuring cups in here. Why? Because when I'm cooking, I'm doing so much measuring, and sometimes I will not be thinking clearly and I'll throw it in the sink, but I need it again, and now it's dirty and I don't want to wash it. So I have an extra set, and same with the spoons. These spoons here, these little metal ones, I got these very specifically to use with my spice jars because the circle ones, the rounded ones, they don't fit in the spice jar lids or in the spice jar, the mouth of the spice jar. So I got those specifically for the spices. I know this is really dark in here. This is how I keep my fry pans. I have a set of they're anodized aluminum, so they're really hard non-stick that are baked at like some 30 or 50,000 degrees. So it's harder for these to wear off or like melt the way Teflon does because they're baked at such a high heat to prepare them. And then I have a bunch of these cast irons. The anodized ones are Ninja brand, and I love them. They go in the dishwasher almost every night. I go through like 2 or 3 pans a day sometimes, and I throw them all in the dishwasher. I've been doing that for a year and a half, and they are still in such amazing condition. If I can find a link, I will link them for you, but I think they might have been discontinued. I'm sorry guys, these cabinets are so dark and I don't have a light to like properly shine in here. This is how I keep all my oils and salt and pepper and some vinegars just on this turntable. It makes it easy to turn it around and grab whatever I need. I do keep them on the lower cabinets, so like the cooktop is here. I keep it down because as heat travels up, and if you have these above the stove top or too close to it, the oil will go rancid faster and you're gonna have like this weird taste. It's gonna be funky, it's gonna smell funky. This, having them lower down, this helps keep them fresh longer. And I keep the cutting boards right back here on this little like organizer so I can pull out whichever one I need. That's another one I have. Well, they're not all out here so you can't see them all, but I probably have like 5 or 6 cutting boards because I'll use one in the morning to prep breakfast and like make our lunches and snacks. I'll come home and then I'll need another one for making dinner or like another snack or whatever it is. I'll go through like 2 or 3 cutting boards a day, and I have a various mix of like wooden and plastic, and I do prefer to use the wooden ones, but because they're hand wash, sometimes I get lazy and I don't want to wash them, so I'll grab the plastic ones. And then I always use plastic for meat because I don't want to get any of those meat juices absorbing into the wood. These 3 drawers, I love having these drawers here because they help organize things so much better than a cabinet. This is all the utensils I use when I'm cooking. They are on the left hand side of the cooktop, so I can just really quickly and easily pull it out and grab whatever I need. And then underneath that is my spice drawer. It is full, and I do use them all, and I love these little containers, but they are very narrow, so I can't just put any spice or spoon into them. That's why I have those special metal spoons, so that I can like use a scoop inside them. Otherwise I generally just shake over the pan, which I know you're not supposed to do. The steam from the pan is going to cause clumping of the spices, and they're not going to last as long, but I have to refill them every month, every 2 months anyways, so they never get to the point where they're clumped to the point, like they're not clumped where I cannot use them, because I use them up before they clump like that. Does that make sense? I have no idea what I'm saying. Yeah, so I will actually just shake right over, which I know you're not supposed to do. And then the third drawer is various tools and gadgets. Like I have an immersion blender, our blender cups, bottles, various other tools that we don't use regularly. Like in the other drawer with the knives, I keep a can opener, a garlic press, meat thermometer, and a pair of scissors. Those ones we do use regularly. And then here I'll have things like a cookie scoop. How often do you need that? But I do use it. Potato masher, lemon juicer, microplane, stuff like that. And then this bin over here has different parts for the appliances that I use. Like our KitchenAid stand mixer has the blender, or sorry, the beaters. The food processor has like the shredder blade, stuff like that. It goes in here. These are the parts for my juicer. It has a home. Those are fruit and fruit slicers. They don't get very much use, but sometimes I do like pulling them out. It's usually in the summer that they get the most use when I'm prepping more fruit, because like for me, I have a hard time eating in the summertime. When it's really hot, I can't eat. I don't have an appetite, so I do rely on fresh fruits and vegetables and salads a lot, because they're easier to digest. I mean, I guess not easier to digest, they're just easier for me to stomach in that heat. So these cabinets are not as exciting, so I'm just going to really quickly go through them. I'm not going to get up there because I cannot reach. I need to get a chair. That is all where the baking trays go. I have baking trays, like cooking sheets and stuff, that I would use when I'm making dinner down here. Easy to reach, easy to grab. That is where all the specialty baking things are, like the cake pans, muffin tins, stuff like that. I have like a bundt pan, springform pan. I do bake a decent amount. I don't like a lot of processed food. I don't like a lot of sugar. I have pretty much cut out sugar for the most part, not completely. I still eat sugar, but I'm not crazy about it. So I don't buy a lot of baked goods out, and I do make them at home. This is our medicine cabinet and supplement cabinet. It goes right on top of the microwave. It's a little bit harder to reach. So I have these little bins that I can pull out easily, and then I can go and sort through whatever I need. Without the bins, I would not be able to use this, and it is very high and it's very deep, so I would need a chair. I would not be able to do this even with my little step stool. The bins help so much. I just pull it down and I can get whatever I need from in here. And then over our range, there's this little cabinet. It's kind of annoying because it has this middle piece over here, but it's also necessary. I put my cookbooks in here. Originally, I had wanted to put oils in here because I'm like, oh, I'm gonna cook and then I can just reach up and grab it. But that would be a horrible idea because the steam would cause the oil to go rancid. But yeah, I keep all my cookbooks up here, and this is wax and oil for my wooden cutting boards. I have this little box here, so if it's in a cookbook, great. If it's not, I keep like my recipes, the tried and true ones, in this box here. I will write them out. I ran out of these cute little cards, so I do use just regular index cards from the dollar store for this. But that works, it works. And any recipe in here has to be tested and tried and true, and something that I keep going back to over and over again. Otherwise, I will not make it in here. That is this right here. And then this cabinet here is our coffees and teas and supplements. So all the protein powders. I take creatine, glutamine, and what's the other one? Creatine, glutamine, and collagen every morning in my coffee. So those are over here right next to the coffee. The coffees and sugars and teas are all here, easy peasy. It's one of those things that we use multiple times a day actually. I was about to say every single morning, but we drink coffee and tea twice a day. So it's easier to have it in the kitchen. You'll notice that I didn't have any food or like pantry goods in this kitchen. Everything is in the pantry, which is not far. It's just in this hallway over here, so I can like walk over really quick and grab whatever I need. But the coffees and the teas and supplements, these need to be here because we use these multiple times a day. And then the last cabinet over here is our dishes. Nothing super great here. Those are extra dish mats because when I do have this dish rack here. I do keep a little dish rack next to the sink at all times. I love this one. I don't know if they sell it anymore or where you can find it. I had bought it from Bed Bath & Beyond many years ago. Like I want to say almost, oh my goodness, I'm aging myself. It might be like 7, 8, I don't know, 10 years old now. But I love that it's like so low profile. It's not a visual eyesore. But yeah, so when that dish rack, because it is so low profile, it's very small. When it fills up, I will have to grab one of those extra mats and then I'll just put it on the counter for other things. And then here's another bin. Can't reach. Okay, there we go. It just has a bunch of cloths that I use for like wiping dishes and dish rags and stuff. So I don't have to keep using paper towels. We'll wipe our hands. I grab those when I'm cooking. So the microfiber cloths from the junk drawer, these are more for like cleaning up and stuff. These are more for like food. These are like tea towels. They're tea towels. That's what they are. And yeah. Now for the counter, this is what I have here. That's our microwave, air fryer. We don't have a toaster because we just put all of our toasting goods into here in the air fryer setting. It's a grill and air fryer, so I'll grill chicken in here. I will use it for air frying. It does like dehydrating too. I've never used that. It's supposed to roast and bake. I don't know. I use the air fryer and I use the grill on here the most, and the air fryer doubles as our toaster, so there's no toaster. Microwave is self-explanatory. I'm not gonna go into details on that. And then the only other appliance here is our coffee maker. This is the Ninja Duo something coffee maker. It does coffee as a carafe, and it does come with a carafe, which it's just me and my husband. We never need to make such a big pot of coffee, so I don't keep it out. I'll just do the single serve into my cup. It takes pods, so I have some pods, but I prefer freshly ground coffee. So I will grind some coffee and then have the grounds ready on hand, and I'll make my coffee with that. But yeah, coffee maker and air fryer. Those are the only two appliances here. Nothing else on this side. Dish rack, excuse the dishes, empty counter. That's it. This is why I keep everything clean, because I don't have all that counter space. You just saw everything I had. The last one to show you guys is going to be my under the sink area. It's not like, it's not food. It is very organized, I will tell you that, but it's not like very aesthetic. It's functional. We keep extra tissue boxes and paper towels, all our garbage bags. I keep the paper towel roll down here because I don't like having it out. I don't like having dust collecting on it, and I don't want to use it. If it sits out, we see it and we use it and reach for it way more often. So having it tucked away means I have it when I need it, but I am not going to grab it as a default. I actually have bins in here too. This one's a really big container, so that's not good. That doesn't go in the bin. But I have a little bin here to hold all of our plastic wraps and various Ziplocs. And then another bin here for our garbage bags. That way if I ever need to, I can just pull the whole thing out and put it on the counter and go through it as needed. It just helps keep things organized, and that way if I pull something out, everything else doesn't fall out. Paper towels and tissue boxes are also in a bin for the same reason. This thing, I have some gloves. There's a big thing of dish soap. I don't know if you can see it very clearly, but there's a big thing of dish soap because I don't keep the whole thing out. I put my dish soap into this little container, and that way it's easy for me to just squirt out or like pump out as I'm using it. And there's my dish caddy. It's not very exciting, but it's functional. But yeah, so I keep the dish soap that I'm using in here. So the big container just sits back there. I'm so sorry, it's so dark in here, guys. With extra sponges. This is the fruit and veggie wash that I like to use. When I'm cooking, I pull it out and just leave it on the counter or like by the sink. And then when I'm not using it, I will tuck it in here so that it's out of the way. And then this thing actually pulls out like a drawer. So gloves to wash the sink with. If you have watched any of my weekly or monthly resets, you will see that I wear the gloves to clean the sink because the sink is nasty. That is disgusting. It is gross. I don't want to get my fingers in there. Rinse Aid dish pods. This is the current cleaning solution I'm using. It's an all-purpose cleaner, and I just keep it here because like when I'm making dinner, if there's chicken on the counters or I'm like cooking with chicken or like any meat really, I like having this close by that I can just do a quick squirt and wipe it off, and I have now cleaned off the surface. There's no risk of cross-contamination. And just a few other things in here. I have a Dawn power wash for like really big messes. There's Dawn dish soap. I use that for my makeup brushes. Extra straw cleaners. This is my makeup brush cleaning supplies, guys. It's the Beauty Blender scrubber or whatever, because I do wash my makeup brushes at the kitchen sink. I have some wipes. That's just a backstock. I keep another set in the bathroom because the toilet is another place. I will not be using anything reusable. It goes in the garbage. So I have that in here stored for now. I have this Rubbermaid scrubber. It's like an electric toothbrush, so it can go into nooks and crannies and scrub for you. Yeah, that's what I keep in here. And it just tucks away, but having the drawer system means I can get into the back and grab whatever I need. I love that. And this is our little compost. It's one of the ones that like hang on here. It's not like installed on the door, and that's intentional. So I can flip it over and then close the cabinet, and it'll just sit out here when I'm cooking, if I'm doing like a big meal prep. That way I can throw everything out as I go and I don't have a mess on the counters. My original plan was to also show you my fridge organization and my pantry organization and potentially my cleaning supplies. However, I have rambled and talked on a lot, and I don't want to bore you guys, and I don't want to make this video too long. So I'm going to end it here. This was short. Well, not really short. I rambled. I talked a lot. But this was exclusive to just the kitchen area that I have. And if you guys want to watch or see a pantry organization or staples video or fridge and freezer organization and staples video, I am happy to do that. I will make that for you guys. Let me know in the comments, like, subscribe, and yeah, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. I hope you guys were able to find some cool tips and tricks to organize your own kitchens and make your own life easier. That's all we want. Make life easier. Bye.